who does GDPR affect? So the scope and jurisdiction of GDPR. Welcome back to our enlightening series on GDPR. In our last article, we looked at why GDPR was introduced, emphasizing its pivotal role in making the digital world more secure, transparent, and fair. Today, we are going to explore the scope and jurisdiction of GDPR, helping you understand who is affected by these rules and why. Let's get started. So it's not just a European thing. First off, a common misconception is that GDPR is only for European Union. That means for EU citizens or companies. While it's true that GDPR was born in the European Union, its reach is global. Remember how we talked about GDPR being a game changer? Well, one way it's doing that by influencing data practices across the globe. So let's see the criteria for applicability of GDPR. So here's a simple breakdown of who falls under the GDPR broad umbrella. First, we have companies in the EU. If a company is based in the European Union, then GDPR applies. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. Whether you're a mom and pop shop in France or a giant corporation in Germany, you have to follow the rules. Simple as that. Then we have companies outside the European Union. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Even if a company is not based in European Union, it might still have to comply with GDPR. How so? We have first that they are offering goods or services to EU citizens. So imagine an online clothing store based in the United States, but it also ships products to France, Italy, and any other European country. That store has to comply with GDPR when handling data from EU customers. Maybe they are doing monitoring behavior of EU citizens. Let's say there's a fitness app developed in Australia that tracks steps, sleep, and other health data. If citizens of EU can download and use the app, then the Australian company needs to adhere to GDPR rules. Then we have data processors. As we covered in our first article, data processors are entities that process data on behalf of data controllers. A third-party email marketing service used by an EU-based company, for example, is also subject to GDPR compliance. So you are a data subject. What is your role as a data subject? If you recall, a data subject is an individual whose data is being collected. So that's you and me. Whether you are shopping online, signing up for newsletters, or creating a social media profile, you are a data subject. And GDPR empowers you, regardless of your nationality, to have certain rights over your data when dealing with companies that fall under the GDPR jurisdiction. So what are responsibilities? Responsibilities extend to partners and vendors for companies. Companies can't just look inwards. They also have to make sure their external partners and vendors are GDPR compliant. Let's say you are a London-based company using a cloud storage service from Canada. It's not just your company that needs to be compliant. The Canadian service must be too, if it handles data of EU citizens. Of course, England, United Kingdom, they went outside of EU, but they are also following the same rules still as EU in case of GDPR. What are the penalties? So, failing of the GDPR, meaning not following the GDPR, can lead to severe penalties. A topic, we'll delve into greater detail in some later article. But to give you a preview, non-compliance can lead to hefty fines, which makes it crucial for all relevant parties to understand their obligations. So what's coming up next? In our next article, we'll focus on understanding data subjects, data controllers, and data processors, revisiting them in a more detailed manner. So, who does GDPR affect? Well, the reach is broad. Companies within the European Union, companies outside the European Union that offer services to its citizens, and all the individuals who interact with these organizations. And remember, this is not just about companies, it's also about empowering you as a data subject. Now that you understand the extensive scope of GDPR, you are better prepared to navigate the digital world responsibly and knowledgeably. As we often say, in a world full of data, being informed is your best defense. Thank you for joining us for another enlightening lesson on GDPR. Stay tuned as we continue to explore these significant regulations. Until then, happy learning!